All right, so what we're going to do in this presentation is show you what benefits are being offered, how to use them, and then how to enroll in them. And as you can see on the screen here, your benefits will take effect April 1st. So let's get started. So first, I'm going to just go over some basic insurance terminology and rules. I know that most of you only go over insurance once a year, and it's often seems very complicated. And since you only see it once a year, it's easy to forget um, all of the details of how insurance works. So we're going to go over some things real quick. So first off, who is eligible to enroll? Well, if you are a full-time or part-time employee working 20 or more hours a week, you are eligible to enroll in most of these benefits. For the last three benefits that I'm going to go over here in a little bit, only full-time employees working 30 or more hours a week are eligible to enroll in those. And I'll specify that when we get to those. And then how you're going to enroll is like you did last year. It's going to be done digitally on an online platform called Ease. And I'll go over that more later on in the video. And then open enrollment takes place each year in March, and benefits begin April 1st. And you can make changes to your elections each year in March during that open enrollment period, which is what we're going through now. Or if you have what is called a qualified life event, such as marriage, divorce, birth, or loss of other coverage. So this means that if you waive coverage now and then in a couple of months from now you get sick, you can't enroll until the next enrollment period. And so that's why it's so important to think about your medical needs now. So here's a couple of, or a few um, basics of insurance. First off, these will help you understanding what these mean will help you understand how your medical insurance works specifically. A deductible you'll see on most every medical plan, and it is the amount you pay each calendar year before the plan pays for certain covered healthcare expenses. There are instances where the deductible doesn't apply. For example, services that only require a copay, like an office visit. And then a copay is a specific fixed amount you pay for covered healthcare services. And then you have what's called coinsurance, and it's a percentage of eligible charges that is shared between you and the insurance company. If you see a coinsurance of 20%, that means the insurance is paying the remaining 80%. And then your out-of-pocket maximum, it's a number you never want to get to, but it's good to know that it's there. This is the maximum amount you are responsible for, worst case scenario, in a calendar year. Most never reach this amount, but should you reach it, the plan pays 100% of the allowable charges for covered services for the remainder of the calendar year. All right, so one thing that helps us to be good stewards of our medical insurance is to know when to go to the urgent care versus the emergency room. And it's recommended that if individuals need care and their primary care physician's office is closed, to use an urgent care clinic for conditions such as fever, x-rays, bone x-rays, brains, etc. Now, if you're experiencing a more severe symptom like chest pain, extremely high fever, or a wound that won't stop bleeding, you would definitely need to go to the ER. Again, it's important to be good stewards of our medical benefits, and this is one way you can do that. And then now the source is offering a choice between 3 HMO plans and 1 PPO plan through Blue Cross Blue Shield to all full-time and part-time employees. And you can see here there are some of those familiar terms we went over just a few minutes ago. But I do want to touch on what is an HMO and what is a PPO. The HMO plans, they have smaller networks of physicians compared to the PPO, and they require a referral to see a specialist. So what that means is, let's say you need to see a specialist, like a cardiologist, you would have to first go to your primary care physician, and they would give you a referral for either like 6 months or 6 visits. And then once you've completed either those 6 visits or the 6 months worth, you would need to get another referral. The HMO plans do not offer any out-of-network coverage except in the case of emergency room visits. So if you happen to have an emergency where you had to go to an emergency room, which is maybe the one that was nearest to you, and it's out of network, you're still going to receive care and still be covered. If you are enrolling in one of the HMO plans, you will need to designate a primary care physician that's within the HMO network during your enrollment process. To find an in-network physician in the HMO network, you can click on the provider search link under the plan during your enrollment process. It will require that you enter in the physician's name and the PCP ID number, which begins with an H, and you can find that again in the provider search link. Now, the PPO plan has a larger network of doctors, and it does not require a referral to see a specialist. It does offer out-of-network coverage. However, if you go out of network, your out-of-pocket costs will be much greater. With the PPO plan, you do not need to designate a primary care physician, but you will want to make sure that your physician that you do see is within the PPO network of physicians. Now, with all plans listed here, preventative services are covered at 100%. You'll also notice here that the very first plan listed is marked as an HSA plan. And what that means is that it's a high deductible health plan that requires you to meet your deductible before the plan begins to pay for covered healthcare expenses. Now, when you're enrolled in this plan, you can open up what's called a health savings account at any bank of your choosing and deposit tax-free funds into that account to be used to pay for medical expenses. The benefits of being enrolled into the HSA qualified health plan and having an HSA account are that the monthly premiums are lower than the other plans. And then any contributions you deposit into your HSA account before taxes, it lowers your taxable income. And then any funds that are deposited into your HSA account can be used for to go towards your medical expenses. And then any unused funds are rolled over from year to year. And one other thing to note is those funds also earn interest. So it's like a savings account. Now for 2024, the contribution limits into an HSA account are $4,150 for individuals and $8,300 for families, and that's for the year. That's the max you can contribute in the calendar year. Now, when you start your enrollment in the online enrollment tool, you will see your cost there as it will automatically calculate it based on the plan you choose and the level of coverage you choose. Now, as mentioned earlier, as part of the Affordable Care Act, preventative care is covered at 100%, and this includes your yearly wellness exams for men, women, and children, mammograms, and other screenings. Now, when selecting an in-network physician, it's important to make sure that they are accepting new patients, that their office is convenient, and that they have good reviews. And I'm sure most of you read reviews about products that you buy on Amazon, so why wouldn't you do the same for your doctor? And a great website to go to check online reviews is healthgrades.com. Now, the link to search for an in-network provider, as I mentioned before, is well, first of all, it's located on page 10 of your benefits guide, but also in the online enrollment tool under the medical section of the enrollment process. You are also being offered dental insurance through Beam Benefits. And on this dental plan, the annual maximum benefit is $1,500. And what this means is that Beam will pay for up to $1,500 towards covered dental services each year. Your preventative services such as oral exams, cleanings, and x-rays are covered at 100%. Basic services such as fillings and root canals are covered at 80%. And major services such as crowns are covered at 50%. There is a $50 individual deductible. However, this is waived for preventative services. Now, should you visit an out-of-network dentist, services are covered at the same percentages as in-network. However, there is a greater potential that your out-of-pocket cost would be greater should the provider charge more than the contracted rate for those services. So When asking a provider if they are within network, it's important to ask specifically if they are contracted with Beam. Should you ask them if they take Beam insurance? Excuse me. 9 times out of 10, they will tell you yes, but that does not mean, excuse me, they are an in-network dentist. And in that case, they can balance bill you, excuse me, for the difference between what they charge for the services and what Beam pays for the dentist for the services. Now, one great benefit of enrolling into Beam, the dental plan is all who enroll have the option to enroll into Beam Perks and receive a free electronic toothbrush, which can be synced with the Beam app. And the app can be used to keep track of your brushing habits. And then at the end of the plan year, should the source receive a good brushing score as a whole, it could potentially reduce the dental premiums for everyone, excuse me, everyone next year. Now, the provider search link for your dental plan is located on page 11 of your benefit guide, as well as the online enrollment tool under the dental portion of the enrollment process. And again, you will see your cost automatically calculated in the online enrollment platform based on the level of coverage you choose. Your vision benefit is also provided by Beam using the BSP network, which is one of the largest networks of physicians. With this plan, you have a frames benefit of $130 every 24 months with an eye exam copay of $10 when visiting an in-network provider. Should you go out of network, you are given an allowance for each benefit, but as a result, you will pay more out of pocket. Excuse me. So sorry, I'm getting over a cold. Now, here are the last 3 benefits that are being offered, and these are only being offered to full-time employees working 30 or more hours a week. So this year, the source is offering voluntary term life insurance as well as accidental death and dismemberment, and it's being made available for purchase. And the rates are subject to your age as well as the amount of coverage you elect. With this plan, employees can choose a benefit amount of $10,000 up to $300,000 and a benefit amount of $5,000 up to $100,000 for your spouse and $5,000 or $10,000 for your children. Excuse me. The AD&D portion of this benefit pays out if you're injured or pass away due to an accident and is automatically added to the voluntary term life benefit elected. Now, should you elect a benefit amount over the guaranteed issue amounts listed here, principal will require that health questions be answered. The guaranteed issue amounts can be found in your benefit guide as well as in the online enrollment tool. And the rates vary, like I said, by age and the benefit amount elected. So you will see your rates automatically calculated when going through your enrollment process. Okay, and again, this benefit, voluntary short-term disability, is only being offered to full-time employees working 30 or more hours a week. Short-term disability is a type of insurance benefit that provides some compensation for injuries or illness that render you unable to work for a limited time period. And what classifies a disability is if you are unable to perform a majority of the substantial and material duties of your own job, or you are unable to earn 80% of your pre-disability income while working in your own job in a modified capacity or any job. The weekly benefit amount is 60% of your salary up to a maximum of $1,500 per week. And it will pay up to 13 weeks as long as you are still deemed disabled. Now, the elimination period here is referring to when the benefits begin. And with this policy, benefits begin on the first day due to an accident and on the 8th day due to sickness. And last but not least, long-term disability is also being offered to full-time eligible employees. And long-term disability is similar to short-term disability in that it also provides some compensation for injuries or illnesses that render you unable to work for a limited time period. In this case, the benefit duration is until you reach the age of 65, as long as you are still deemed disabled. Now, the monthly benefit amount, again, is 60% of your salary up to a maximum of $5,000 per month. And with this policy, benefits would begin 90 days after the sickness or injury. All right, so now that we've gone over the different types of coverage, we get to the how part. And this is a very easy process. You can actually do it from your phone if you don't have access to a computer. But this is great because you don't have to print off anything and send it back to anyone. I do want to note that even if you are wanting to waive benefits, you still need to log in and complete the enrollment process and sign electronically to confirm your elections or waivers. You will receive an email invitation as soon as we get off this call. So be looking for that. It will include a link for you to go and log in and begin your enrollment process. Now, as we wrap things up here, should you have any questions at all about these benefits or need any assistance with the enrollment process, you can contact me directly. I'm happy to assist you in any way that I can. So feel free to give me a call here at this number listed here, or you can email me as well. And then, of course, we'll take some questions here in just a few minutes. But I will note that if you have any specific questions about your own personal, like maybe health situation or whatever, feel free to call me directly with those. The purpose of the questions here are just to ask about the actual benefits being offered. So we'll go ahead and we'll stop. Let's see. I'll keep this up here. We'll go back to the beginning. But does anyone have any questions?
Hi, this is Tana Vayon. I do have a quick question for you, and you might know the answer to this, but I think also Toby might know as well.
Mhm.
For full-time employees, which are there any of the medical plans that are going to be covered by the source, or are we all paying for those like out of our check?
That would be a question for Toby. The employer is contributing
Okay.
towards the benefits. But Toby, did you want to take that?
Sure. So we are going to be contributing to the one that was the HSA plan. We're covering the full amount for that for the employee only. Excuse me. And that amount we're contributing to all the plans straight across for the employee only. So you are then responsible for the difference for each of the other plans. And once you go into the East portal, you'll be able to see what the rates are as far as the difference that you would be responsible for the other plans. So the least expensive plan, which is the HSA plan, that she shows there, the first column, we are covering the expense for that on the employee only. And then the rest of the plans, like I said, we will cover that same amount all the way across, and you will be responsible for the difference for each of those plans. So just like it was in the past.
All right. Are there any other questions?
Kelly, I did have a quick question. Thank you
Mhm.
for this. I was looking at your contact information and your email is Diane or Diana. Is that the same
Oh, did
email?
it say that? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's
No.
actually, if you want to take it down, it's Shelly.Langham. It's LANGHAM as in Mary at bufferinsurance.com. And
I
my
am okay.
I
Got
was
it.
just saying, okay. And my contact information is also located on the last page of the benefit guide that I believe Toby sent out to everybody.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Anyone else?
It looks like Rose is muted. She may have a question.
Okay. Okay, I think she should be able to unmute herself. Um, I don't know that I can.
Okay.
Okay,
here.
sorry. It's actually Marianne who needed to ask the question, but we couldn't get Rose's computer to unmute. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I just have a couple quick questions, two of which I think you answered, but I didn't get a chance to write it down. What was the max amount that you said could be as an employee only put into the HSA?
Mm-hmm. Yes, let me get. It is. One second. Get back to that. It is for an individual, it's $4,150, and then for families, it's $8,300.
Okay, and then I know you said that the HSA can be rolled over every year, but I thought I also remembered that eventually it could be like put into an IRA if you didn't use it for health purposes.
I do not believe you can put it in an IRA. There are some HSA accounts in which you can, once you have like put a certain amount in it, you can take it out and invest a portion of it. But as far as like taking out the full amount and putting in an IRA, I'm unfamiliar with that if that's the case. But I do know that like once, let's say you have your HSA and you continue to remain on an HSA qualified health plan until you turn 65. Once you turn 65 and get on Medicare, you can still use those HSA funds to pay for your Medicare premiums as well as medical expenses.
Okay, so, but if you have money left in the account and either you're not, so if you're not on, like HSA kind of plan, that money that's in the HSA account, you can still use it for medical benefits, right? Like,
That is correct, but
medications and stuff.
correct, you can still use the funds that are in there. However, you can no longer contribute into that account if you are not enrolled in an HSA qualified health plan.
Okay, and then you're saying that we could take a portion and invest it, so
There are
invest
some
it in what
HS
way? You
accounts
can't put it in an IRA?
that I am not familiar with as far as how it's invested. I just know that there are HSA accounts out there. There are some banks that offer HSA accounts in which you can take a portion and invest it. So
I
that would
can
be
So
kind of,
you're not familiar with that being the case with this one, because I swear last year he said that it can remain there, and if you don't use it, it could be in an IRA situation.
that would probably be a question you'd want to ask the bank that you speak with when you open up the account.
and I can at least speak to, I know with like Fidelity, I have my HSA with Fidelity, and whenever the investments are being made, it's through the same process that they do investments with something like an IRA, but they're just doing it in the HSA account itself. So you're going into like, you're just investing in that account.
Right,
that
yeah,
makes
I'm
sense.
just concerned having money left in there, about how much to put in it, because I was told last year that if whatever is in there, you can roll it to an IRA, so I didn't mind putting an excess amount. So that's why I'm
Yeah,
a little
and you don't
confused.
lose it even if you don't roll it into an IRA. Whatever funds you put in your HSA account, they roll over from year to year and they remain in that HSA account and they earn interest. So you don't lose it if you don't use it.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. My last question. So I'm unfamiliar with the co-insurance fee. I'm not sure what that is. I mean, I know the co-payment, but what's the co-insurance on top of that? Does that just mean like when you go to an appointment, if you haven't met your deductible, if it's an 80/20 plan, you just pay 20% of that visit? Is that what they're saying?
No, let's take, for instance, let's look at this third plan here, medical plan, the G664 ADT. You have an individual deductible of $2,000. Co-insurance kicks in after you've met your deductible. So once you've met your deductible of $2,000 here, then co-insurance kicks in. So if you look at, let's say, for instance, inpatient surgery, let's say the surgery itself was, let's say $10,000. Okay. Um, you're going to pay $2,000 towards your individual deductible, and this also charges you a copay of $150. And then it's 20% coinsurance of the balance. So it'd be 20% coinsurance of the $8,000 up to your out-of-pocket max of $6,000. So if you had an inpatient surgery, the max out-of-pocket you're going to pay for that is $6,000. And then after that,
Right,
everything would be
so-
covered at 100%.
Okay, right. But so let's say the deductible is already met.
Mhm.
Then it's gonna be, they pay 80% for whatever it is, and you're paying 20 until you meet your max out of pocket,
That
right?
is, yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Mhm,
Okay, perfect.
exactly.
I was just
Mhm.
trying to make sure. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
no worries.
This is Macy. I have a question. Back to the HSA. You were saying we open like an individual account, obviously at the bank of our choosing. How do
Mhm.
we connect that so that the pre-tax dollars are going into that account?
So, Toby, I think I'm assuming you guys are doing this, but ultimately how that would work is that you would give your HSA account information to Toby, and then you let her know what you want to contribute into that account, and it would be direct deposited.
You
From your
would add
paycheck.
it in to Bamboo just like you would a direct deposit with your account. So you would just go into the direct deposit in Bamboo and add it in as a separate account. And then say you want to add $100 every paycheck, you would do that account, put $100, and then the rest of it would go into the rest of your account, however you have it set up.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know if this is a question for for you, Shelley, but I think in our dental plan that we do receive, I believe that we get like an electric toothbrush. How do we claim that or get that?
Okay, have you gotten it before when you first enrolled?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so typically it's upon enrollment. Once you enroll for the first time, you have a 45-day window to opt into the Beam perks. If you did not do that last year, I can request that Beam open up that window. Oops, sorry about that. Open up that window again for you guys so that you can go in and opt into the Beam perks and then select your toothbrush color, and then they'll ship that out to you.
And I do have a flyer as well that I could send you that has some information about it on it.
Yes, that would be great. And if you, I don't know, Shelley, if you could send us a website to apply through Beam so we can get it as well.
Yeah, it's the web address is going to be in your benefit guide. It's beambenefits.com.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions?
Is there any other exclusive items we get besides a toothbrush?
No, just the toothbrush. Now you can, like, if you keep track of your brushing habits through the app, you get points, and you can use those points for like toothpaste or replacement brush heads. I think even dental floss and maybe even teeth whitening gel. And so, and then you can also go on the website if you want to and just purchase those items.
Thank you so much.
Mhm. All right, any other questions? Okay, well, I think that wraps up everything here. Toby, do you have anything else?
No, I'm good. And I'm available if anybody has any questions after this, or Shelley's also available. So don't hesitate to reach out to either one of us.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. Like I said, like Toby said, feel free to give me a call directly or email me if you have any other questions.
Thank you, Shelley, so much for doing this for us. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
no problem. You guys have a great day.
All right, thank you. Thank you,
Uh-huh.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.